Over 8 years have passed since Chinese President Xi Jinping first proposed the Belt and Road Initiative. The BRI has changed from concept to practice, creating opportunities while benefiting the world. Piraeus Port, the southern gate of Europe, has gone through twists and turns over a history of more than 2,000 years. After China's COSCO formally participated in operations in 2010, Piraeus has been expanded, upgraded, and regained its shine. Tassos Pamvakidis has been working at the port for nearly half a century.
I was in the first 2-3 years trying to compare the developments in this side of the terminal with the previous situation. After 3-4 years I stopped doing that because we are talking about a completely different port. It's last generation equipment, infrastructure, technologies, innovative technologies in terms of operation.
Under the BRI, the Piraeus Port's container throughput increased from 880,000 TEUs in 2010 to 5.65 million TEUs in 2019, as its global ranking jumped from 93 to 32, making it a top port in the Mediterranean. In November 2019, President Xi and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis visited the Piraeus port.
百闻不如一见的，今天亲自来看一看，中国所提倡的一带一路啊，看来不仅是一句口号，不是一个传说，它是一个现实的、精彩的合作的范例。
The Smederevo steel plant in Serbia was once on the verge of bankruptcy. China's Steel Group purchased it in 2016, bringing great changes to the factory and the life of its 5,000 employees.
Prije jedno 8 godina I sada je razlika veoma velika. Znači, kad smo bili samostalni, nismo imali budućnost, nismo imali uvida.
In June 2016, President Xi paid a visit to the Smederevo steel plant and said, "I believe that with the close cooperation of the two sides, the Smederevo steel mill will surely be revitalized and play a positive role in creating jobs, improving people's lives, and helping Serbian economic development." The steel mill has also become the country's biggest exporter and retained the position for 3 consecutive years until 2020.
Za samo 5,5 godina od fabrike koja je nekoliko nedelja ili možda I meseci, nije toliko važno, delilo od zaustavljanja I potpune obustave rada, postaćemo jedna od najboljih fabrika u ovom delu Evrope.
For Belarusian Kirill Y. Karativ, joining the China-Belarus Industrial Park was a turning point in his life.
С тех пор главы государств уделили большое внимание проекту. Я, конечно же, поверил в его развитие и без колебаний присоединился к его реализации.
The China-Belarus Industrial Park is a landmark project between the two countries under the Belt and Road Initiative. China and Belarus signed an agreement on the project in September 2011. In May 2015, President Xi and his wife Peng Liyuan visited the industrial park with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. The facility has injected new impetus into bilateral cooperation and changed the life path of many.
Парк развивается как большая интернациональная семья, и особенно это видно на примере нашего жилого дома. В будущем мы также планируем развивать научные разработки, уделять больше внимания инновациям, достигая всеми силами поставленной цели – это преобразование индустриального парка в современный международный промышленный эко-город.
In Senegal, the westernmost country on the African continent, many regions have been plagued by a shortage of water. In some villages far from cities, residents often could not get access to clean and safe water. This newly drilled well in GLOBALink village is part of a Chinese-funded rural well drilling project in Senegal. It was agreed upon as leaders of China and Senegal met in Hangzhou in 2016. The rural well drilling project officially began in Senegal in March 2017. It had great and tough challenges to overcome.
在非洲开展打井项目是非常艰难的，这里的地质情况是很复杂的。
After years of efforts, the well drilling project was handed over to the Senegalese government in March 2021. It consists of 251 wells and 1,800 kilometers of water pipelines, benefiting 1/7 of Senegal's population. The project also created jobs for more than 3,000 locals. Laos, a landlocked country in the Indochina Peninsula, people here have been longing for a railway link to the outside. They pin hope on the China-Laos Railway, a flagship project of the Belt and Road Initiative. The project commenced in late 2015. About 2 years later, President Xi paid a state visit to Laos. In a signed article published on Lao Media, Xi said, as an important part of the Trans-Asian Railway network, the China-Laos Railway is of major strategic and practical importance to Laos. The project also helps Slider Thengfeng Son realize her dream to be a train driver.
ดีใจหลายที่ว่าท่านสีจิ้นผิงได้มาเยี่ยมยามประเทศลาวและก่อสร้างเส้นทางรถไฟลาวจีน
The railway was put to use in early December 2021.
สำหรับตัวนี้มันก็มีผลดีหลายอย่างสำหรับประเทศลาวสำหรับครอบครัวน้องหรือสำหรับตัวน้องเนาะคือน้องก็คือมีเวียกที่ว่าเหมือนติ้ง มีเวียกที่ว่ามันคงนำพาประเทศลาวสามารถก้าวไปสามารถพัฒนาในหลายๆด้านสำหรับเมืองไซก็เป็นแขวงหนึ่งที่ว่ามีผลิตภัณฑ์นำเข้าหลายอย่างซึ่งถ้าว่ามีรถไฟเข้ามามันจะสะดวกสบายต่อการนำสินค้าเข้ามาลาวค่ะโดยเฉพาะเมืองไซแขวงอุดมไซ
On a flat stretch of desert near the Nile River, a new city is being built. The central business district in Egypt's new administrative capital is the largest project implemented by a Chinese company in Egypt so far.
这项工程开始于2016年1月21日。那天，我们公司与埃及住房、公共设施和城市发展部在习近平主席和埃及总统塞西的见证下，签署了埃及新首都建设一揽子总承包合同。
The CBD project includes 20 new high-rise buildings and some municipal projects, including a 385-meter-high iconic tower.
标志塔建成后，将刷新整个非洲的天际线。
With everyone's efforts, the project has gone smoothly. The iconic tower has created many construction records.
38小时便完成了18500立方米杂板基础浇筑，一举创出非洲建筑史上单体建筑最大基础底板、浇筑超大型基础底板的最快纪录，高峰期单日最大混凝土浇筑量新纪录。
6 years in the making, Africa's tallest skyscraper has risen in the desert.
عمل هندسي يعني فعلا يفوق وإن شاء الله يعني هذا المشروع هيبقى يعني علامة مميزة لمصر كلها ويعبر عن مصر الحديثة إن شاء الله.
Since operations began in 2011, the China-Europe freight train service has served as a crucial link for trade and economic cooperation. Polish businessman Paweł Moskala, who's been engaged in the freight shipping business for years, is one of many who want to seize the opportunities brought by the trains from the east.
Największą przewagą transportu kolejowego realizowanego za pomocą China Railway Express pomiędzy Europą, Chinami i Europą jest na pewno czas tranzytu, który jest czasem pomiędzy fraktem morskim a transportem lotniczym, czyli
During a state visit to Poland in June 2016, President Xi and his Polish counterpart, Andrzej Duda, witnessed the arrival of the first China-Europe freight train under the family brand China Railway Express. There are 3 major rail transport corridors between China and Europe. Most of the rail routes pass through Poland. Since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, the global logistics industry was immediately impacted. However, China-Europe freight trains have bucked the trend and served as a lifeline for international trade.
I oby ona się tak dalej rozwijała. Myślę, że chyba będzie. Wszystko daje taki znak, że Chińczycy się rozwijają, my też przy nich. Z waszego szlaku korzystamy i wy, i my. Także trzeba dalej inwestować i nam, i wam. Pierw wam, a potem nam.
In the Sri Lankan capital Colombo, a city of the future is rising from the sea. The Colombo port city was launched in 2014 as the largest foreign direct investment in Sri Lanka. President Xi and then Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony marking the project's inauguration. The mega project is jointly built by a Chinese company and the Sri Lankan government. Since the launch of the project, Xinhua has been following its development from overseas. He returned to Sri Lanka in 2016 and later joined the project.
I am proud that Port City is an unprecedented project in Sri Lanka's history. Whatever we are doing now will be sample of Sri Lanka's future.
The Sri Lankan government plans to turn it into a financial and commercial centre in South Asia, as well as a world-class tourist attraction.
Our vision to make the port city a key service hub for one of the fastest growing regions in the world.
Next stop is...
The Orange Line, launched in 2020, is the first and only metro line in Pakistan. It's also an early harvest project under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a flagship project under the Belt and Road Initiative. Chinese President Xi Jinping paid a state visit to Pakistan in April 2015. During the trip, leaders of the two countries witnessed the signing of more than 50 cooperation deals, including the Orange Line project. Young Pakistani man Mohammed Nauman has a deep affection for the metro. It's where his career began.
My family is very proud of me because being a part of this much great project, this international project, everyone likes it.
Nowadays, the Orange Line has become a token of friendship between China and Pakistan.
There's a very frequent term which is being used in our friendship, that it is deeper than the oceans and higher than the mountains and sweeter than honey. And it is a very apt description of the last 70 years. The sweetness is improving, the depth of the relationship is improving, and the height of our future relationship and cooperating is improving all the time.
To use the water resources of the Santa Cruz River to power their country has been the dream of Argentinians for half a century. Today, two dams jointly built by China and Argentina at the southern tip of the South American continent are helping them live the dream. In July 2014, President Xi and then Argentine President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner witnessed the signing of the financing agreement of the Kirchner-Kopernik Dams project. That signaled the official implementation of the largest hydroelectric project in the history of Argentina.
Una vez finalizada la obra, la generación de energía que puede llegar a alcanzar es de 4,95 mil millones de kilovatios horas, lo que significa un crecimiento en la potencia instalada de Argentina de 6,5%, que es un impacto muy positivo para la necesidad energética del país.
In early 2019, then Argentine President Mauricio Macri inspected the dams as his first trip of the new year. In February 2022, President Xi met with his Argentine counterpart, Alberto Fernandez, who was paying a visit to China. During the visit, the two countries signed a memorandum of understanding on jointly promoting the construction of the Silk Road economic belt and the 21st century maritime Silk Road.
Los cambios son muy importantes y la iniciativa de la franja y la ruta realmente muestra sus beneficios. Esta cooperación entre países para poder desarrollar infraestructura está teniendo un impacto muy positivo para la región y para la Argentina.
我多次说过，一带一路是大家携手前进的阳光大道，不是某一方的私家小路。所有感兴趣的国家都可以加入进来，共同参与，共同合作，共同受益。共建“一带一路”追求的是发展，崇尚的是共赢，传递的是希望。